Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's episode we are refinishing these two dressers that I found on the Facebook Marketplace for free. So in my last video I told you guys I had some exciting news. So I'm moving across the country, so this is my last video ever in this garage. So it's pretty sad because this is where it all started, but hey, let's have some fun with this project here. Don't worry, I'm still going to be making videos in the future when I move, so if you aren't already a subscriber, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is take out all this old paper they had in the drawers and flick it away. So clean out the drawers, and we need to make sure that we do a complete deep clean on this piece. So we're going to be using Crud Cutter. This stuff is great, you just spray it on, but don't forget to remove that hardware before we start using the Crud Cutter. Just take a look at this hardware. It is so cool, I must say. I'm excited to reuse this stuff. Finally, once we remove all the hardware, we can spray the Crud Cutter all over these two dressers and we can start cleaning these pieces up. You can really see how much dirt was just sitting on the surface of these dressers, so it's good that we cleaned that up. Now it's time to use just a wet rag, and we're going to clean up the Crud Cutter residue that's just sitting on top of the surface now. Before we get to painting anything, I decided it's time to put some new furniture legs on these two dressers because I think it would look super cool. So I'm going to flip these guys over and we're going to get started on adding these new legs. So basically the bottom of these dressers weren't flat, so I had to just use some scrap wood here just so I had a nice flat surface for the legs to attach onto, and then it wouldn't be wobbling or anything like that. Plus it gives it extra support, so you can just watch and see what I do. And as you can see, I'm using a variety of screws here just because that's all I really had on me, and I didn't want to go to the store and buy anything new, so I might as well use up what I have before I move, hey? After finishing this one up, I followed the same steps for the rest of the legs and had them all attached. And finally, I finished both dressers. And now it's time to flip them back over so we can get started on the painting process. First, I just wanted to tape these legs up so we wouldn't get any paint on them or scuff them up with sandpaper. And like always, I like to fill in any cracks and scrapes with some wood filler, and I'm using Bondo as my filler today because this stuff is super durable. So I'm just going to take it out, and then you mix in your filler with your hardener. So just mix that around and you get about 5 minutes or so playtime. So let's go throw this on the damaged areas. I probably should have used the filler before I attached the legs, but hey, I'm rushing this project because, hey, I'm moving in less than a week. So, yeah, you could probably do it other ways around, but hey, we're going to make it work anyways. Now it's time to sand everything. I'm starting with 100 grit sandpaper. Now I'm grabbing 240 grit sandpaper and we're going to finish off this piece nice and smooth before we start painting and priming. Let's not forget we're painting these 3 drawers here, so I'm going to sand them down and prep them just like we would for the dressers. Before we can do any priming, we need to clean everything up, and I'm going to use a tack cloth here and just wipe up all the dust. And for primer, I'm using black Rust-Oleum spray primer. Spray paints are pretty strong, so it's best that you have a respirator on, and if you're in your garage, open that garage door. It's good to have some ventilation in there. After the garage has had some time to air out, I'm using Clean Strip 15-minute stripper here on these 4 drawers. And we're just going to apply this stuff, and then we're going to set the 15-minute timer, and we're going to come back and scrape this finish off. With what stripper I had left, I just threw the rest on and did my second coat, and this did the job. So we'll wait 15 minutes again, and we come back and scrape this stuff off. For the other drawers that we're going to be staining, I have this other stripper left over. This stuff is a bit quicker. It's 5-minute stripper, so I throw that stuff on and I get to work. After stripping all the drawers, I'm using mineral spirits and this steel wool pad that I found at Walmart. So just simply pour the mineral spirits on and make a mess just like I do. And then you can throw your steel wool pad on and just scrub everything off as best as possible. After scrubbing all the stripper residue with the steel wool, I come back with a rag and just wipe up everything. After everything is dry and evaporates, I use my carbide scraper to scrape up any noticeable areas, and I also use it on top of the drawers. I find it works best. And then when that's done, I use some 240 grit sandpaper and sand everything smooth. Finally, everything is sanded, and now after dusting it off, I'm using my coffee gel stain. Since I have so much of it left over, I decided, hey, why not use it up before I make the move? And just take your clean rag and we can just start throwing this stuff right on the drawers. After applying the gel stain, I don't wait very long, and then I just start wiping it off with a clean rag. So I'm doing 3 of these drawers at a time just to make sure the gel stain doesn't dry up on me. You can tell the drawers on the tall dresser were a bit more red than the ones on the longer and shorter dresser, but that's okay. After throwing everything together, they blend in nice enough. It's just a little bit of a different hint to it, but once we throw the poly on that's tinted, hopefully it'll make it match a little bit more. I'm not too concerned. Finally, after finishing up our staining, we're going to move on to painting again. So I'm going to use 220 grit sanding sponge pad here and just scuff up the entire surface where we primed so our paint will adhere as best as possible. And let's not forget to use a tack cloth just to clean up that dust. And since we're going to be spraying paint, it's best to use a vacuum to clean out any dust inside so it doesn't end up landing on our project. So I'm using a new coal black fusion mineral paint with my old coal black and ash fusion mineral paint mix, so I just mixed them both together just to make sure they were all the same color just in case I needed more paint. So now I'm just prepping it for my spray gun, add 10% water, and we are good to go. So here are the temperatures that I was working in that day I was spraying. So it's almost 20 degrees Celsius and humidity was pretty low considering that most days in here this thing was hitting up to 80. So I took advantage this day, and this is after the first coat of black paint. Good thing I mixed the two paints together because I did need that extra amount of paint, so I add that into my container, add some more water, and now we are ready for coat 2 and our final coat. So here I'm just mixing my water-based poly with 10% water and a drop of the black paint I'm using, and I just mix that all up, and now it's ready for our polyurethane spray. If you look closely here, I actually fall backwards, but I stick the landing and continue on with my spray. But I had a laugh at myself there, that's for sure.
And that, my friends, is how you fall.
Anyways, back to spraying. So in total I did 2 coats of Fusion mineral paint and also 2 coats of water-based poly, so this piece is going to be pretty durable. Since I'm using the same hardware, I'm going to use Barkeeper's Friend here to clean it up. I'm going to throw some water in, mix it in, let it sit for a little bit, and I'm going to come back with my steel wool sponge pad here and just scrape everything, well, scrub everything up nice and clean. So I'm using this platinum gilding wax, and I'm actually just putting this on the larger pieces of hardware because the smaller knobs, they were super cool, originally the brassy color, so I kept them like that. Alright, let's take a look at this set one more time before we started painting, staining, adding new legs, cleaning the hardware, and we're going to see what it looks like after. And here is the final product. I think this project turned out great. Considering these pieces were free, we did pretty good. I didn't need to buy any new hardware. I just purchased the legs. I bought the paint, the primer, and the polyurethane. So let me know what you guys think this set is worth and what you guys would sell it for. And is there anything you guys would have done differently? Let me know in the comments below. So since I am moving across the country, it's going to take us about a week to drive because we're going to be towing a trailer. So we're not going to be rushing or anything, but I might not have a video out for maybe a couple weeks. We'll see how long it takes me to settle in a new city, but I am excited to get there and look for some furniture and get some projects started. But thank you so much to all of you who supported the channel so far, and if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I cannot wait to have my next video out because we're going to be in a new city and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you in the next one.